Howdy. How you doing?
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Bridget.
Good
I'm
afternoon,
sitting. Good afternoon. Is that Samantha?
it's Kristen.
Oh, Kristen. Hi, Kristen. I'm sitting in my mom's parking lot. This is my mom, Kristen. This is our CEO from RTA. This is my mom.
Oh,
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi there. I'm going to recruit her. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
okay. Hey, Owen. Hold on. I gotta jump out of the 2 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have about 1 minute. All right. Samantha, are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. I would now like to call the Board Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order at 2 p.m. Thank you for joining the Board Budget and Finance Committee meeting today, Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. Before we begin with today's business, please ensure that you are in a quiet environment with no background noise. Please mute your device until called upon by the chair or the clerk to speak. Will the clerk please read the special notice?
September 16th, 2021, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill number 361 that amends and extends certain Brown Act requirements pertaining to telephonic conferencing of local government meetings through January 1st, 2024. As such, RTA has opted to conduct the January 11th, 2023 committee meeting via teleconference. Participants can participate via teleconference in each participant's own office or home area, which will not be made physically accessible to the public.
Thank you. Self-introductions. For today's meeting, we will take roll call. Will the clerk please take roll call?
City of Wildemar,
Here.
City of Beaumont, City of Cali Mesa,
Here.
City of Canyon Lake,
Here.
City of Hemet,
I am here. It pays to unmute and turn your volume up.
City of Lake Elsinore,
Here.
City of Norco,
Here.
City of Temecula,
Here.
and County of Riverside, District 5. Alrighty. Chair, you have a quorum. Members, please remember to remute your devices.
Thank you. Will the clerk please take attendance of RTA staff?
Chair. Kristen Warsinski,
Here.
Charlie Ramirez,
Here.
Tom Franklin,
Here.
Laura Camacho,
Here.
Rick Kazarowski,
Here.
Jim Neepkins,
Here.
Melissa Blankenship,
Here.
Mike Johnson,
Here.
Albert Jimenez,
Here.
Jennifer Nguyen,
Here.
Audrey Gill,
Here.
and Brad Weaver.
Here.
That's it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Next is item 3, public comments for non-agenda items. Will the clerk please read directions for the public comments?
Members of the public may address the board regarding any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. However, no action may be taken on off-agenda items unless authorized by law. Comments shall be limited to matters not listed on the agenda. Members of the public may comment on any matter listed on the agenda at the time that the board considers that matter. Each person's presentation is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Has the clerk received any requests in writing?
No, Chair, I have not.
Is there anyone on the line that would like to make comments that are not listed on the agenda? Hearing none, the public comments portion for items not listed on the agenda is now closed. Next is item 4, approval minutes for December 7th, 2022 Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Does any committee member have any comments or corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
Temecula moves.
Canyon Lake seconds.
Thank you. I have a motion from Temecula and a second from Canyon Lake. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Yes, Chair. City of Valdemar.
Yes.
City of Cali Mesa.
Yes.
City of Canyon Lake. City of Canyon Lake. I saw it on mute. I heard you. City of Hemet.
Yes.
City of Lake Elsinore.
Aye.
City of Norco.
Yes.
And City of Temecula.
Yes.
Chair, it's unanimous.
Thank you. Next is item 5, cash flow projections, and Charlie Ramirez will present.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Moore and members of the committee. My name is Charlie Ramirez, Chief Financial Officer. The table attached to the staff report portrays actual cash performance through December, followed by a projection of weekly estimated cash activity through February of this year. Cash flow does remain positive thanks to better than anticipated fair revenue and a strong complement of LCTOP receipts related to the various fair promotion programs that we have running. Over on the cost side, we continue to operate lean, keeping our operating expenses in check and well below budget. All of this said, I do not anticipate any cash flow issues for the reporting period. Thank you, and that completes my presentation.
Thank you. That is always good news. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? Has the clerk received any request to comment on this item?
No, Chair, I have not.
Okay. Is there anyone on the line that would like to make a comment on this item? Hearing none, item 5 is received and filed. Next is item 6, agency investment policy, annual update, and Charlie Ramirez will present.
Thank you, Chair Moore. So each January, the Board of Directors adopts an agency investment policy that remains in effect for the rest of the year. The investment policy really lays the foundation for how the agency invests its funds, as well as how it procures its natural gas to power its directly operated fleet. The 3 core principles that have remained over the years in the agency's investment policies in order of importance are: 1, the preservation of principal. As a public agency, we must preserve principal and be risk averse in our investment endeavors. 2, we must maintain liquidity. That is to not invest in instruments that would tie up our funding and make it impossible to fund daily operations. And 3rd and last, the agency will seek to earn a maximum rate of return on its investments. However, it must always be mindful of the first 2 objectives, to be risk averse and to maintain liquidity. As the Chief Financial Officer, I am the designated investment officer in the agency's policy. And I do believe, in my opinion, that the agency policy for 2022 did act as intended. The agency did preserve principal, it maintained its liquidity, and despite a very rocky investment market, it earned over $1 million in investment income in 2022. Now, that is, of course, real money that helps fund day-to-day bus operations and contribute to critical projects, capital projects that are always in the pipeline. With all of this said, there are no significant proposed changes to the draft 2023 investment policy, which is attached to the staff report for your review. So this leaves us with your recommendation here today, which is the following: to approve and recommend this item to the full board of directors for their consideration as follows: adopt the agency investment policy for 2023. Thank you, and that completes my presentation.
Thank you. Very good job, Charlie. Thank you. Any questions or comments from committee members? Has the clerk received any requests to speak in writing on this item?
No, Chair, I have not.
Is there anyone on the line that would like to make a comment on this item? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Canyon Lake.
Calamasa seconds.
I have a motion from Canyon Lake and a second from Calamasa. Will the clerk please take roll call vote?
City of Waldemar,
Aye.
City of Cali Mesa,
Aye, and wow, congrats on the $1 million. Woohoo.
City of Canyon Lake,
Happily aye.
City of Hemet,
Yes.
City of Lake Elsinore,
Aye.
City of Norco,
Yes.
and City of Temecula.
Yes.
Chair, it's unanimous.
Thank you. Next is item 7, authorization to award agreement number P22186F to Fritz Ford for the purchase of 6 trucks for stops and zones. And Melissa Blankenship will present.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Moore and members of the committee. My name is Melissa Blankenship, and I'm the Director of Contracts for the agency. The item before you is authorization to award agreement number P22186F to Fritz Ford for the purchase of 6 trucks for stops and zones. The 6 trucks, which are 2023 Ford F450 trucks, will be used by stops and zone staff for bus stop maintenance. 5 of the trucks are replacements for those that have exceeded their useful service life as defined by the Federal Transit Administration. And 1 truck will be an expansion vehicle to be utilized as a spare, which does not currently exist in the fleet. Staff has determined that a spare truck is necessary in order to maintain operational efficiency and not displace stops and zones personnel when a truck is being serviced by the maintenance department. The trucks are equipped with specialized equipment such as a front-mounted hydraulically operated signpost puller, a 14-foot stake bed body with a lift gate, locking tool storage cabinets, and as an added safety measure, the trucks have a traffic warning light system for use when working on the shoulder of the roadway. On December 6, 2022, staff issued the solicitation via Planet Bids. The procurement was also publicly advertised in a newspaper of general circulation, and a notice was posted on the agency's website along with a copy of the IFP document. On December 16, 2022, the agency received bids from 3 vendors, and the lowest bid came from Fritz Ford, located in Riverside, with a bid amount of $738,580. A list of all the bids received can be found on page 16 of your agenda. Staff reviewed the low bidder's submittal to ensure compliance with the requirements of the IFB. Based on a thorough review, staff recommends awarding a contract to Fritz Ford, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The price is found to be fair and reasonable in comparison to the independent cost estimate, and all bids were received under full and open competition. The estimated delivery of the trucks is fall of this year. Sufficient funds to cover this request are included in the agency's board-approved capital budget. Therefore, the recommendation before you today is to approve and recommend this item to the full board of directors for their consideration as follows. Authorize staff to award agreement number P22186F to Fritz Ford for the purchase of 6 trucks for stops and zones for a total project amount of $738,580. Chair Moore, that completes my presentation.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? Oh, I already see Ted Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a couple of questions. The size of these trucks, are they, since they're stake beds, are they the F350s or F450s?
They're F450s.
F450 is good. And so are they diesel or gas?
Unleaded gas.
Unleaded gas, all right. And then what do we do with the old ones? Do we auction those off?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good price on that, if those are that size, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted. Linda Krupa.
Thank you. Good presentation. I don't know if it's a good price because, you know, prices have gone through the roof as usual. But my question, what are these vehicles? I think I saw somewhere in here that they were, quote, over mileage. So are maintenance trucks affected by mileage limits also?
Yeah, they do have a service life, which is 100,000 miles or 5 years. And these are well over 100,000 miles, the ones we're replacing.
Okay, my other question is, are these maintenance vehicles subject to the California CARB things of going to electric by 2035?
No, not at this point. They are not.
Okay, because I know some of we're required at the city to change some of our maintenance vehicles that we've really got to go to something other than regular unleaded gas. And sometimes it's impossible just because of the power that the vehicles have to have. So some of them have gone to diesel, but you know, some of the rules and regs coming down just are pie in the sky. And when you're dealing with heavy vehicles that have to do heavy duty stuff, it's just not possible to go to anything other than either diesel or gasoline. So thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, Linda. Jeremy?
Thank you. Awesome job on the report. I second what Mr. Hoffman and Linda Krupa was saying in regards to, you know, with pricing the way it is. I think this is extremely fair. My question is since we're not under the guideline of looking at, you know, the 2035 where we have to be electric, I know it'd be more money, but have we looked at what diesels would cost as opposed to the gas?
You know what? I don't know that I can answer that question. I don't know if Mike, is diesel an option?
Good afternoon, Michael Johnson, Director of Maintenance. With the gasoline, we don't see the need for diesel at this time. We currently have gasoline with our current service trucks, and we've never had an issue with those. They don't pull heavy loads, so the additional power that we would see from diesel isn't really something that we see the need to purchase additional trucks that have additional power. The cost difference is significantly higher typically with diesel than gasoline. So just for the bang for the buck, we think that this is the best option for us right now.
You know, and you know, Linda Krupa, you nailed it with diesel. And the reason why I asked the question is, and you were kind of going that way, I think, but the reason I asked the question is because you're paying for it, not just for the power ratio, but a typical diesel lifespan is between 300 and 500,000 miles. You know, so we're turning these vehicles at 100,000, I don't want to, you know, elongate this thing. I think you guys did a phenomenal job, and I'm definitely supportive of what staff's done. But I just know the longevity in diesels, and yes, the power is substantially more, especially when you're dealing with the torque, but that's not the case. It's the longevity of the vehicle itself. Was that discussed or talked about? Is the cost analysis worth it? Are we allowed to have a maintenance truck for 10 years? Because, you know, I know that a gas engine is not going to last nearly as long as a diesel.
No, so the current trucks that we're replacing, they're all right around 160 to 175,000 miles on them right now. So we've gone far past what the FTA guidelines are for retirement. We haven't really looked at diesel, but that's something we can look at for the future and see for, you know, the next round of trucks that we're going to purchase over the next few years. If that's a good option for us, we'll definitely weigh that out next time.
Okay. Thank you.
I see. Thank you, Jeremy. Kristen?
Thank you, Chair Moore. Just one more thing to add to that. The federal money that we have, the grant that we have for these, we were specific that they were unleaded. And with the emissions, even at the federal level now, moving towards zero, I'm not certain the feds would approve for us to go to diesel. So that's something else we would have to look at, and we would have to put that in the grant in the future when we purchase this funding right here. I don't think we would be allowed to do that.
Okay. Ted, I did see your hand up. Did you?
Yeah, well, I was just going to comment on the diesel. Here I'm sitting with my diesel truck that's almost 20 years old, and I know how
You and me both.
and it's got good longevity, but I know if the state had its reasoning with CARB and the AQMD, they would kick me off the road. And so it's just one of those things we have to, it's what we deal with in the state of California. So that's why I asked if they were diesel or gas. And for those being the 1-ton stake beds of the gas, it's what we're stuck with. And that's, yeah, it's a good deal. It's not bad at all for the heavy weight of that truck and the gas and for what it's doing. So and if nobody else had anything else, I'll move to approve.
Let me
I'll
ask one
second
more
it.
time. Okay. Well, are there any other questions or comments from community members? Okay, then I have a motion from Ted Hoffman and a second from Jeremy Smith,
The 2 diesel owners. Yep.
the 2 diesel owners. Okay, has the clerk received any requests to speak in writing on this item?
No, Chair, I have not.
Okay, so we have our motion a second. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Yes, Chair. City of Wildemar,
Aye.
City of Cali Mesa,
Aye.
City of Canyon Lake,
Aye.
City of Hemet,
Yes.
City of Lake Elsinore,
Aye.
City of Norco,
Yes.
and City of Temecula.
Yes.
Chair, it's unanimous.
Thank you. Okay. And next is item 9, so board member comments. Does anyone have any comments? I see Tim Sheridan.
Thank you. I just want to compliment Miss Semen Ego. Did I crush her name? For her meetings in review memos that she sends out. Those are excellent. I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Sheridan. Linda Molina.
I just wanted to say, go micro.
Yes. And Ted Hoffman.
Yeah, we're in a new legislative year, and I know we're TNOWs are meeting again. And in my area, we had a new assembly speaker, so we'll probably have to reach out with our TNOW people. We'll do that tomorrow at ours, but I'm sure all the other TNOWs will have to check and see if their assembly person moved or redistrict or where they're at now, because we actually have 2 in ours up in the, we'll have Mr. Cervantes and Mr. Scale. I want to screw his name. Saley in ours now. So we'll have to reach out and see what all the changes are. And I don't know if we've done the legislative thing on the TNOWs with the changeover. We also in the Senate district, but that would be up to the TNOWs. I just want to throw that out to them as you guys look at them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. And I saw Linda Krupa, but maybe she had to leave. Linda, did you have a comment? Okay.
I did, but my internet is so bad that I don't know if I can get through this, but I just want to reiterate what Linda Molina said. Go micro, and thank you to the cities that showed up for the ribbon cutting this week or last week, whenever it was. It's great. It's going to be a good service.
Yes, last Friday, I was glad Joseph Morabito from Wildemar was in attendance. Thank you for doing that. I want to thank Kristen and staff. So we actually had a bus stop on Clint Keith, and somehow the trash can went down the side of the hill. It's been there a while. So the Wildemar Beautification volunteers brought it back up, and then Kristen and staff picked it up and then installed a new bench and a new trash can. So thank you for doing that. Looks much better. Okay, next is item 9. Kristen, do you have any announcements?
Thanks, Chair. I'm just going to reiterate what Chair Molina and Director Krupa said, go micro. It's go micro's world, and we're all living in it right now. I can't wait to update all of you at the board meeting, give you about a month's worth of ridership. I will say it's being used a lot more than I thought it would, which is really exciting. It's going well, and people seem to really like it. Thank you.
Great. I know, I can't wait to hear that. Okay, the next meeting of the Board Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, February 1st, 2023 at 2 p.m. And the January 11th, 2023 Board Budget and Finance Committee meeting